Hello, I am live again here on YouTube and talking to you from Kelowna, Canada. My name is Miriam Cunha, and this video tonight, it's a video that I have been um, rethinking about doing because it's about an experience and some information that I have had that got me to get to some conclusions. And this is my truth, but it's not necessarily everybody's truth. And at the end, we all will find out what really was the truth. But I thought it was time for me to share this information of some dreams that I had with a certain public figure that is very debated in the world, and you can figure out who it is because look at this picture here on the background. On the background, it's clouds that showed in the sky. For me, one time I was on the road, and I was like, "What? Another confirmation." But before I get into that subject, I would like to share with you about my previous experience on seeing things and knowing things from the Akasha records, from the universe, from beyond the veil, from our other dimensions. I started really early to, oi mãe. So I started really early to study things like parapsychology and hypnotherapy and astral travel because my father liked hypnotherapy and parapsychology, so he brought some books and he was practicing these things at home. And I think I kind of followed along with what he was doing, and I got really interested in all of that stuff since I was a child. And I experienced with astral travel, practicing to get lucid dreaming since I was a teenager. So I used to make a command of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to see. And then you start getting confirmations to the things you're seeing, which is very similar to what is known nowadays as remote viewing. It's just that remote viewing is a practice that hides the target information to the remote viewer so that they can get a confirmation of what several remote viewers are saying about the same target. So they only get a number reference of the target that they're going to see. And then they compare the information different remote viewers get from that. But astral travel and psychic viewing, it's very similar. It's all of that. It's tapping into information from the universe, understanding that time is not linear and past, present, and future are all happening at the same time in different dimensions, different frequencies. So we can think about the universe like a radio that can tune into different frequencies that not the universe being the radio, but the idea is all these frequencies, right? So you can turn on the radio and tune into different frequencies depending where you are, and you can get lower or higher frequencies and FM and bass. And the radio has this ability of tapping into the different frequencies So I gotta say the radio would be more compared to us. Okay, so I am a radio and I can tap into different frequencies depending on my focus, on my intention, and sometimes we just do it without the focus or the intention because we are always doing it. All of us are doing it. We're tuning into different frequencies of the universe. We can all tap into this information, and I think the key is to trust yourself, right? So the more you practice that ability of seeing things and tapping into frequencies of knowledge into this universe, the more you ask for confirmations and these confirmations come to you, the more you trust yourself and the more you know that you can actually tap into deep knowledge without having to read books, without having to rely on external sources like the mainstream media or relying on whatever people are saying, even what I'm saying tonight. So I just wanted to clarify that because I have been practicing that for a long time and I learned to trust myself, the information that comes to me from my higher self and from my spiritual guides, because I always get confirmation after confirmation until I understand what it is and what I have to do. And I am here tonight talking about that exactly because I understood that I had to do that. There are other people that I have seen that also have been sharing similar kind of information to what I'm going to share here tonight. And also it confirmed my information. So when I hear people saying similar things to tapping through this inner knowledge, and I confirm that to myself, they can also, other people can confirm that to themselves too, so what they're seeing. And this is what we could call fate, because fate is a belief on something that can't be scientifically proved. I'm not, well, I don't want to simplify the meaning of fate, but how can you explain fate, right? I trust myself, I trust my higher self, and I trust my higher guides and my spirit guides. And by trusting that, I have faith in me, faith on the information, and faith on what's what's coming to me. All right, that being clarified, this also can be my truth, but it can be some people's truth, and maybe it's not your truth. And if not, you can just move on and find your frequency because the radio can pick up different frequencies. We can pick up different frequencies. And since I have been always working towards higher frequencies in this life, and I have remembered of places and things that I've done already, and places outside of the earth too that I have experienced, and also where I came from. But that's a subject for another video. I would like to share with you a screen, and before I share it, I'm just going to explain you what it is. This is a drawing that I made. I created this drawing when I was a teenager, maybe around 16. I was in Brazil and I was channeling through, like when you get yourself into a meditative state and connect with your higher self, you can channel. And you can channel through different ways. You can channel through just talking. You can channel writing. You can channel drawing. You can channel singing. So the expression of this communication of what you're channeling can come through different forms. And this one came for me as a drawing. And that was my higher self showing me where I was going to be because that was the plan. It was like giving me a map of the future of my life. And I carried this drawing with me for a long time. Good, because, well, I knew I had to, I just didn't understand fully the drawing until that year, 2010. And I'm going to show you the drawing now. So it's this one, this screen here. So as you can see on this screen, this is the drawing I made. And there are some pyramids here. And I always interpret them as being underground for some reason. And there is a mouth communicating about the balance of the universe and the unconditional love, which is this big heart here. And I interpret that as my mission to communicate about metaphysics and sacred knowledge and balance and most of all unconditional love, because it's from the heart that we connect with the highest frequencies. So here on top, I interpret this as being myself looking at this whole happening. And there is a lake here. The lake has this creature here. And I had no idea I was going to move to a city, to a valley in Canada that has a lake with a legend of a monster or a creature of the lake, which is called Ogopogo. So this gave me a clue that I was moving to the right place. But I only understood that in 2010. And let me show you something very interesting. So I for some reason, wrote the years of every 10 years, like a decade: 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, and 2010. And I stopped there, maybe because I run out of paper. Well, anyway, I stopped in 2010. And I was always asking myself, what's going to happen in 2010? Is that the end or the beginning? What is going to happen? And then I had the answer in 2010, of course. I was at a friend's house here in Kelowna, and she went inside of her place and brought me a couple of, those meditation Chinese balls that make a little bell noise. She brought me two of those with this picture here of the yin and yang, the two of them. And I was at her place because she told me that from her place I could see a mountain that it's called the Dark Night Mountain. It's place after Rutland, and it's a mountain. And looking from where I live now, it looks like a heart exactly on this angle. Okay, so that was the mountain. And this person bringing me those meditation balls with the yin and yang, two of them. And I'm looking at that mountain, and I was like, oh, this is a deja vu. This is what my drawing means. And that was 2010. So I understood that I stopped in 2010 because in 2010 was the year I was going to understand the meaning of this whole drawing. So the drawing was from my higher self in the future telling me where I was going to be when everything started happening, because we've been experiencing all these portals since the harmonic convergence in the late 80s and 2012. There was a big portal, and now we're just like portal after portal and uplifting and upgrading. And Ascension has begun. I don't like the word ascension. That's why I used uplifting or upgrading, because ascension seems like you're going to be sucked out of here and go up somewhere, but it's not exactly what is happening. What is happening is that we are taking the opportunity, many of us. Not everybody's taking this opportunity. This is something that it's an individual choice. And the person, the humans or beings that have been have chosen to take this opportunity to enlighten themselves, to vibrate onto higher frequencies, to tap into the fifth dimension and higher. Tap, I said tap. Why? Because we have parts of ourselves already on these dimensions, always. We never left. We just focused on this 3D dimension. So our focus has been so dense here that we close the channels to see beyond that and to understand that we are and we have always been connected to the light, always. So now it's a matter of remembering. So this whole process of upgrading is a process of unblocking the channels that have been closed by many reasons. Some reasons that are the strongest are the programming that some creatures or beings that are not exactly humans, they have been programming humans for a long time to control them because they have an interest, a very big interest in humans as channels for them to keep their own evolution. So at the end, we cannot judge them for being good or bad. They're just doing what they have to do. And right now, it's the end of their permission to do what they have been doing, because Earth as a being has chosen to move on from this torture. And we have the opportunity as beings inhabiting Earth, because our bodies are not who we are, right? We are inhabiting, our consciousness is inhabiting a body that came from Earth. All this matter here comes from Earth. It's like a pop up from Earth through our consciousness. So this body, it's part of Earth, and Earth as a being has decided to upgrade to a new dimension and a new Earth. It's a cycle that is ending, another cycle that is beginning. This is very exciting. It's exciting times. I feel like I have been waiting for this moment for my whole life, because I remember when I was a kid and a teenager, all I wanted to talk about was that. I wanted to convince everybody about tapping into this kind of knowledge and understanding that there are other beings in the universe and they visit us here. And it's funny because I never had a good fit into the reality of the teenagers at my time that wanted to party and think about having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. For me, my focus was different, and that's because my consciousness has had already an upgrade before, and knew that I came for adjusting things for myself and my family and other things, but mainly for this moment, like many other beings are awakening to knowing that this is it, this is the time that we came for. So going back to this drawing here, I see two suns here. This is still a mystery for me. Are we going to have another sun, or is this referring to this planet that is orbiting close to Earth that is causing already lots of shifts and changes on the planet? I don't know. This is still a mystery for me, the two suns. And a flying saucer. I'm like, hello, pick me up here. And there's a lot of water. So this is my sharing of this drawing that I did when I was about 16. So it's been a long time. And that confirmed to me that I tapped into information that was necessary for me to remember lots of things. And this is the confirmation I was talking to you about, that when you start practicing remote viewing or astral travel, lucid dreaming, psychic viewing, however you want to call it, when you start practicing tapping into other realities and more knowledge, you need to learn to trust yourself. And I heard something very interesting this week. Somebody was talking about the subject, and the person mentioned that it's that we leave clues to ourselves. And I immediately related to a movie I watched that some people were on a cave, and because they had the feeling they were gonna get lost, they started throwing those lightning sticks, light sticks, so they knew the way they went through. And this is kind of what we do to ourselves. Our higher self always gives us clues to our other parts. So we are connecting all of our uh, pieces of the puzzle of our consciousness right now, recalling things and letting go of things that are not serving us anymore. We're having an opportunity to rebuild ourselves. And that's another thing that I heard from someone very interesting, was that a way of restructuring yourself, if you're having trouble letting go of the patterns of your ancestrals through your DNA and your memories, you can state to yourself that you're starting from zero. Put your feet on the ground and become a new tree from where everything starts again, resetting all the past, letting go of everything that doesn't serve you anymore. And I'm saying that right now because the moment we are experiencing on earth right now, it's giving us this amazing opportunity. Look around, how many people are waking up to other realities, waking up to what's really going on, waking up to from a long sleep. I find it fascinating, and I'm so happy. So I'm focusing on that instead of focusing on. Of course, I know I like to know things. Just a moment. Things that are happening. A little bit of water. So I like to know things that are happening. But if I start identifying with this very evil, negative things that are happening, and my vibration starts to lower, I stop. Because, or you look at the things as an observer from a neutral point of view, just to know what's going on, or don't look at it and keep focusing on your higher vibrations, because that right now it's more important than anything. And talking about higher vibrations, I'm going to open up into a deeper subject, which is something that I'm sharing because of lots of confirmations that I have had, not only me, but other people, about who this character in our politics represents to Earth. Oh, oh, I'm gonna stop. Oops. Oh, okay. Now that I wasn't gonna share that one, but it came out, so I guess it was to be shared. This was the other drawing I carry with me. I called it Nibiru, but I'm not sure. This one, I think it's me going back to where I came from, or at least wishing to go back. Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I am going to share another screen with you to start on this subject that I have been debating to share. So I have had dreams with this person, but they have been lucid dreams. And I have experienced being with the team of this person and the working together, rescuing children and women that have been tortured and abused on these underground tunnels. That has been tough, and but at the same time, I'm really glad to be part of that kind of work. My ears ringing. And I have been lucid dreaming, being part of the team that helps this character of the clouds, the orange man. And I want to, before I talk about the dreams, I want to share another screen. The screen I'm going to share are the lyrics of a song. This song was written by a composer that was born in Guatemala and lives actually in Mexico, I think. His name is Ricardo Arjona. And he wrote a song in the mid-90s called The Messiahs. I don't think he knows what he was writing about. And that was another confirmation. Some people have been connecting. So look at these lyrics. I translated the lyrics to English because the song is in Spanish. Share this one here. Okay, so these are the lyrics. So it's called The Messiahs, written by Ricardo Arjona in the mid-90s. And it says, a Messiah has been born in New York. Start connecting the dots. And then he says, just in case he drives an armored car, the Pope is afraid he will fire everyone. Who is famous for saying, you're fired? Okay. He's shaved and wears Christian Dior to be able to rise to the occasion. The Jewish say he is the one they've been waiting for. He owns a penthouse in Manhattan and a building in Paris. Mm-hmm. He owns buildings. He holds a PhD and has an affair with an actress, has a drink in the village with Bill Gates, listens to jazz for entertainment, checks the market and buys the church stocks. That one, I don't know. Goes jogging at the Central Park and learns Kung Fu at Chinatown. He's going to take over, but nobody knows the date. This is Arjona channeling through a song that he doesn't even know who he was writing about. And some people thought that he wrote about 9/11 with this song, but this has nothing to do with 9/11. This has to do with the Orange Man. Okay, so he continues. He has a security army with people from Israel and a Magnum 45 just for himself. Now Google Magnum 45 and Trump, and you will see what you will find. And then the song continues. They say he's the one that came and promised to be back, that he had hands surgery to disguise who he is, that he has been, I don't know what I wrote here, but he's in Manhattan. Forget about this one. So this time, this is the most important phrase, in my opinion, the most important phrase of the song. This time, his strategy is not the same. He has a partner in Japan, another in Afghanistan, talks daily with God through the internet, tweets all the time, right? He's promoting a change and has lots of enemies. Lots of enemies. Bought CNN and uses airtime with speeches that invite us to remove the veil. I think I was translating this and I didn't finish. And then chaos is everywhere in the planet, and the planet is surprised. Isn't that what's happening? The church accuses him of heresy, and this is the Pentagon and the Pentagon of terrorists accuses him of terrorists. And on a knife edge, those feet. So this is a song, it's a poem. So sometimes translating this from Spanish to English doesn't make sense. I'm still trying to make a version that makes sense. If you speak Spanish, go ahead and find the song and listen. And it continues. They say he's the one that came and promised to be back, that he had hand surgery to disguise, that he has been, okay. And then at the end, it shows they want him to commit suicide. The New York Times hates him, and a cloud of doubts darkens the sun. Lots of people have been talking about days of darkness, and he's going to prevent that, but things are going to get hectic, so you better get ready. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and tell you about my dream. So I had that I remember 4 different astral travels experiencing being with the Orange Man. I like to call him the Orange Man. The first dream I had, I was at his place, and there were lots of people there, like his team working. And then I was there because he needed to rest. So I was telling him, okay, you need to go to bed and rest. So I kind of pushed him to go to bed and stay there until I was sure that he was resting and sleeping, because that creature doesn't want to rest. He is here to work. And despite what lots of media talks about him, and because they hate him, they hate him because he's messing around with the structure of the evil system that we've had until now. And that's the reason. It's like if you step over a ant's hole, you're gonna get some bites, because the ants are gonna get angry, because how dare you destroy the ant's hole? So how dare somebody come here with a team of beings from the Federal Confederation, Galactic Confederation, I don't know how to say that, but from the structure of hierarchy that takes care of the galaxy. How dare they come here to interfere and stop with this evil system here, to stop with the central bank, to stop with wars, to withdraw armies from places, to do not go to war. How dare you? How dare you go underground and stop with the pedophilia and the torture of children and women? Do you realize how big is that? All right, so that was one dream. The other second dream, it was about the same thing. And I was understanding all the time that I was there that I would, well, first, when I woke up, I was like, I wouldn't be there if it wasn't that this person was good. And that was a confirmation to when he won the elections. I was very happy, and I didn't really know why. It was just something clicking and saying yes, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I wish everybody could understand the extension, the magnitude of the presence of this creature here, despite what you think that he is a narcissist or a womanizer or whatever. This is the external play that is showing on the superficial streamline. You got to look deeper. No other person on that level of power and authority in the world has been messing with the central bank, with the corporations, with the pharmaceutics, with all the corruption that has been happening in this world, with the torture of children and women that have been kidnapped and still are. So the work hasn't finished yet. The work is still being done. And it's not only the Orange Man, he's just the front guy who is taking all the heat on that. And when the Galactic Confederation decided to interfere here, they knew this person had to be somebody very strong to take all this heat. I look at him sometimes like I don't know, I couldn't do that. He takes everything like if it was all the attacks, all the hate, like if it was nothing. He's completely neutral and so focused on the work that he came here to do. And I'm glad many people are able to see that. But I'm sad about other people that can't see it because they are so taken by the external appearance of things and taken by the lies and hate. So some people that I've met hate him and don't even know why. Oh, because somebody told me this. Have you stopped to listen to things? Have you stopped to see what has been done by this big team that is present on our planet right now? And I'm not just narrowing that to the United States because this is something much bigger than the United States. The United States represents the power on earth, and that's why this being had to be in the position of power on that country. Because from there, we're going to have a ripple, we're having already a ripple effect of change on every single country of this world. There is resistance happening on many places. The place I live is still being commanded by the other side. And I don't want to get too much in depth about that, but another dream I had, lucid dream, he was on a plane and they took down the plane. It was an attempt of killing him. And I was on the team. There were lots of people on this team rescuing him, trying to find his body. And then I came around some path and I found a body laying on the ground with other people around. And I thought that that being was dead, but it wasn't human. Who I saw, it wasn't human. And then I asked, my question was like, who the hell is that? And then somebody answered me, that is the president. And as soon as the person said, that is the president, this being got up and they took him away, meaning he wasn't dead. So, despite how many times they try to kill him, they will not succeed. Not only because he is a strong being that has come here for a big mission, but because there is a huge huge team of light backing him up. So if you are worried about something like that, don't worry. The light has won already. The light always wins. The thing is that things need to be played out. And we will understand things very soon. Lots of things are going to be unveiling at very deep levels until the end of this year, especially November. I'm excited, although the planet is in a turbulent, it looks chaotic. There's fire, there's storms, there's riots, and this lockdown and repression and censorship and all this stuff that is happening. This is just a reaction of the evil powers that have been controlling this planet until now to the takeover of the control from their hands. They're angry, of course, they're going to be angry. But that's how things are playing out now. It's time to celebrate, time to focus on your higher vibrations, time to open the veils of illusion, time to look at what is really happening. When you move from one house to another and you start packing everything, everything looks chaotic, and you feel that you're not on the house you were anymore because everything, you can't find anything, but you're still not at the place where you're going, and then some things are there already. So you're in this middle of in the middle of chaos, and that's how we are right now, because we are ending a huge cycle of thousands of years. The Mayans knew that. They left a lot of information written, but the conquerors from Spain destroyed most of it, but they didn't destroy everything, because the Mayans knew about that coming, and they passed information from generation to generation verbally. So some of this information is still alive. And one piece of that information is the end of the cycle and the beginning of another. So this doesn't mean the end of the world, but it is the end of things as we've known them. So a lot of detachment is very important at this time. If we have been very attached to the way of life we've been having, to our houses, to our cars, to our special food, to our comfort, to our beloved beings, we have to work on detachment, because anything can change, anything can go, anybody can go. Lots of people are going to leave their bodies, their physical bodies, and we need to be ready for that, ready to let them go, ready to help while we're here. Some of us are incarnated here because we came to help at this moment, and this is the moment. So that was that other dream I was telling you. It was very impressive to see the being there that I knew. That somebody told me, "Oh, this is the president," and I'm like, "But it doesn't look like him. It was a different being. It was not human." And he just restored himself, got up, and walked away with other people. And the other dream I had um, was explaining. I went to a meeting there with the team, with the Orange Man, and it was an explanation about the plan to unveil things, but that I'm not going to get into details because it hasn't happened yet. Oh, my battery is going low. How come? I've been unplugged. Okay, so I'm going to end this video right now before my computer turns off because I have to find out why it wasn't plugged. Too much energy. This is too much energy. Okay, take whatever you want from this. Find out by yourself. Ask your higher guides, ask your higher self what is true and what is not, and you will know. Don't rely on external sources of information for this moment because it's very important for us to connect with our higher selves. All right. I love you all and see you next Sunday. We have a very special guest from Venezuela. We're going to be talking about different kinds of meditation, especially dance meditation. Is a very special person that I have met virtually, but we have a very big connection. And I'm looking forward to this interview next Sunday. And it's going to be my birthday, so we're going to be celebrating live here next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. So please subscribe, click like, share, debate. Just don't swear and don't call me names because I don't have patience for that. So I'm just going to delete and ignore. Bye. Transvibrating always.